Story challenge. A love story between two eternal things that can never touch. "She won't come, bro," said Scorpio, as she swished her tail through a patch of cloud, sending it into a spin. "Yes, she will," said Sagittarius, stamping his front hooves angrily. "She has to. This is the only chance we get to see each other." Scorpio snorted. "It's been 1,000 years since the last alignment. What makes you think she hasn't moved on?" Sagittarius opened his mouth to argue, but realized it was pointless. "This is why we aren't friends." "Don't listen to her, Sag," said Capricorn, as her shape materialized and she stretched out her front legs, then folded them and sat down. "Pisces will want to see you." The other zodiacs appeared, one at a time, making themselves visible to Sagittarius for the first time in a millennium. The galaxy was so big, the zodiacs on the other side of it were too far away to see. But tonight, after waiting so long, they would almost be close enough to touch. Almost. Sagittarius ran his fingers up and down his bowstring, a nervous habit he had never been able to break. Aquarius hopped down from nowhere, his star-filled cloak sparkling. "Capricorn, my dear," Aquarius boomed. "And Sagittarius, my old friend. How goes it?" Sagittarius cleared his throat and pawed at the sky. Aquarius waited patiently for an answer, and when none came, Capricorn jumped in. "He's nervous about seeing her again," she said. "Ah," Aquarius replied. "Yes, well, it's been a long time, old chap, even for us Eternals." Does she ever talk about me?" Sagittarius asked. "Oh, well, the thing is, Sag, Pisces is a little different these days. Plays her cards close to the chest, so to speak. She's not the sharing type anymore. Honestly, after saying goodbye to you the last time, she turned a bit cold. Hasn't been the same since." Sagittarius felt an ache in his heart. By the sound of it, she hadn't forgotten him, but she was also, apparently, suffering. "Play it cool," said Scorpio, clicking her claws in a suggestive way. "Don't be silly, Scorpio," said Capricorn. "Tell her how you feel. You don't get many chances. At least until the Allfather decides to change the sky again." It was in that moment that the twinkling of a host of stars foretold Pisces' arrival. After a shower of light, she slid through a gap in the night sky, her beautiful scales shimmering against the moonlight. All the clever words Sagittarius had rehearsed, all the poems, all the declarations of love, left his mind, and only wonder at her perfection was left. He dropped his bow, ignoring the sound it made as it clattered against some clouds, sending a thunderclap down to the earth. "Ah, you idiot!" Scorpio screeched. "Be more careful." Sagittarius did not hear her. He saw only Pisces, heard only the click-click of her scales as they clashed together lightly. "Hello, Sag," she said, staring at the centaur. The zodiacs, who had been chattering loudly, fell silent. "Well, this is awkward," said Leo. He shook his mane and stalked off, as far as the sky would allow, with Cancer. One by one, the zodiacs walked, trotted, slithered away, leaving Sagittarius alone with Pisces. He pawed at the sky again, avoiding her eyes. He gulped and looked at her. How have you— Sag, she interrupted. "We have to stop this." "Stop what?" said Sagittarius. His temper flared slightly, not at her, but at the idea that anything concerning her would have to stop. "This, waiting 1,000 years for just a little while with each other. I'm going to move on, Sag." "What do you mean, move on? To where? With who?" "Well, Aries knows a way to pass to Andromeda. The Allfather hasn't changed the sky for a long time, so we think he won't—" "Fuck Aries," Sagittarius cried, neighing loudly. "Fuck Aries and his plans. The Allfather's coming back, Pi. He's going to change the sky and we can be together again. We just have to be patient." "Sag," said Pisces, sighing. "We can't even touch." She reached out a fin, and it met an invisible resistance in front of her. "Is this how you want to spend eternity?" "You don't know that it's eternity," said Sagittarius. He could feel tears coming, and he did not try to stop them. A cloud gathered around his hooves, and rain began to fall. He's going to come back, Pi. He knows about our love. He wants us to be together. Pisces was crying too now. Rain dropped gently from her scales. I'm sorry, Sag. I won't wait another 10,000 years for something we're not even sure of. She turned to leave. Sagittarius reared up on his hind legs and snorted as he crashed into the sky barrier. Do you even love me? He asked, as lightning shot down from the cloud below him and a thunderclap echoed. Did you ever love me? It was Pisces' turn to be angry. She swam up to the sky barrier and smashed her tail against it, shaking the heavens. How can you say that? She asked, pressing her face against the barrier and baring her teeth. Since the first moment the sky was split and the Allfather parted us, I've waited 1,000 years at a time for a few minutes with you. All of me is for all of you. She softened, placing her fins on the barrier. My body was made for you. My lips were made for your kiss, and my fins were made for you to hold. Don't deny my love again. She stared intensely at him. Then, said Sagittarius, now sobbing, then why can't you wait? Because when I'm holding on to us, I'm half a being. I live half a life. I exist and no more. And I want more, my love. Then I'll come to Andromeda with you. We can be free of the barrier and be together again. Pisces shook her head. Don't you think I've thought of that? It's too far for you. You would never make it. It's not even guaranteed I will. The old Zodiacs say that travel in that distance can break our star forms up, and when we reform, we're a new sign. We don't remember anything of who we were. I'm willing to take that risk, said Sagittarius. I know you are, but I ask you, please, do not. This galaxy has so much to offer, and perhaps, when I am no longer in it, you will see its beauty. It's nothing without you, Sagittarius replied, pressing his head against the barrier. If you insist on going, then I insist on following you, Pi. If it takes me another 10,000 years, I'll be with you again. Pisces sighed and smiled. The rain below her cleared. You're so stubborn, my love. That's one of the reasons why I love you. Very well. Then, All-Father willing, the next time I see you, we'll have a whole new galaxy to explore together. But for now, she said as she began to fade away, I have to go. Sagittarius lifted his hoof to the barrier, exactly at the point where her fin pressed against the other side of it. He stared into her eyes until her form had disappeared, to begin its slow return to the other side of the galaxy, and from there to uncharted stars beyond. For a long time he kept his hoof on the barrier, visualizing touching her fin. He could almost feel her. Almost.